Hello everyone and welcome to the Premiere Pro, where you'll learn everything you need to know to go from a 100% beginner to a professional level video editor. We'll release at least one new tutorial every week, and if there's anything you'd like to see covered in the future, let me know in the comments. Okay everybody, let's get started. In Volume 5, I showed you how to add text graphics to your timeline. If you want to take a look at that video, there's a link in the description. Right now I'm going to show you how to use video and audio transitions. So what you want to do first is go to your Effects tab here. Now, if you don't see this, so say this was not here, you can always go to Window, go to Effects, and you'll see the tab. So you're going to go to Video Transitions. And Premiere comes with a few basic ones. There's a couple plugins here I won't get into because it doesn't make sense to go over a plugin that you may not have. There's plenty of plugins available if you want to enhance what comes with Premiere, but we're just going to go over the basic stuff. So Dissolve is pretty much your bread and butter for transitions. This blue box around here is highlighted. It means that that's your default transition. And at any time you can change what your default transition is by right clicking and selecting set selected as default transition. And the reason that you have this, so I can give you an example here. This is a graphic. If I highlight this and hit Command on an Apple or Window on the Windows machine, hold Command and D, and that's going to go to my default transition. And this is just really meant to save you time. So the cross dissolve is the default. It dissolves in and out. So that's pretty cool. Just a nice little trick there with transitions. So I'm going to undo that. So we just showed you the cross dissolve, which is a basic mix or crossfade. So if I drag this down between these two clips and play, it's just going to fade between them. Very basic, but very effective transition. Another popular one would be the dip to black. That gives it a little bit of dramatic feel. So let's take a look at that. So it's kind of cool. That goes down and pops up. And then what you can also do is you can click right here, expand it out. That's going to increase the duration. So if you hover over, if you can see where it says duration, now it's at about 1 minute and 16 frames. It was a little shorter before. So it's going to take a little longer. So let's take a look at that. See how that hangs a little longer? It feels a little bit more dramatic. So you can really just experiment with different transitions and different lengths to kind of get the feel you're going for. The idea of transitions is very important. You don't want to do them just to look cool. You don't want to do it to try to make your video fancy. That ends up looking very amateurish and it feels very cluttered. You want to do them for a reason. So for here, this is a very epic, majestic scene, dipping to black between scenes. It makes it feel bigger and more massive. So that's why you want to do that. Always know why you're doing a transition. Dip to white, same thing, except we're using white. And you can expand again. Or you can really contract it and make it smaller. And if you make this really small, so I'm going to zoom in, press plus. If you make this really small, and you can see in the right there, the frames. This is the number of frames it's taking. Usually 10 frames is a good length if you want to make it like a nice flash. See that? And that can be used if you have an effect where you want like someone taking a photo or a shutter and you can add a sound effect. That's a great transition for that. So again, you always want to have a reason that you're doing these transitions. So let's just take a quick look at a couple other ones. You know, you can just mess around with this iris box here. That's basically a box transition. Now here's something pretty cool. I'm going to zoom in. If you just click to highlight the transition, and if you go to Effects Controls, and again, if you don't see it, make sure you have it checked off. You can actually do some things to this. So you can add a border, and you can control the width. So if I just do this, see how that adds that border? And you can keep making that bigger. You can make the color any color you want. So if you've ever seen a transition with a border, that's kind of how you do that. Now, in this situation, that's a little cheesy. It doesn't look great, but this is just to illustrate the possibility and the capabilities that you have. And you can do this with anything. So Iris cross dissolve. Let's zoom out a little bit first so we can see more of our timeline. And you can do this same thing. Zoom in, click. You're in effects controls. Let's just say 25, and let's make that border. Let's go ahead and make that white. If we take a look at that, and this also brings up a point, depending on how quick your system is, you may need to render to do this smoothly and not have your system bogged down. Okay. So you have some others. So just experiment with these. It's going to be the same principle for all of these. I'm just going to go away here. I'm going to apply some transitions and then show you the finished video. We'll be right back. Okay, so I've applied the transitions that I thought fit well. So a couple quick things before we play this back. One, if you'll notice here, I didn't apply a transition to every single cut because, again, you don't want to overdo it. This isn't about showing off or look at all these cool tricks this can do. It's about when it moves your story along or serves a purpose. So really be selective. Less really is more. Second thing is audio transitions very quickly. They just work the same way video transitions do. So we only have one audio track, but if I had two, I could, the same way you do cross dissolve to fade between the different tracks. What I would do is go to audio transitions and cross fade. But we only have one audio track here. So what I want to do, I just want to fade up the audio a little bit so it doesn't come on as abruptly. And if you listen to that, and that's good. The track fades up a little on its own, but we just make it a little softer. And then at the end of this video ends, and we don't want this to end, the audio to end abruptly. Right? That's horrible. So what we want to do, again, there's reasons for this stuff. We want to give it a nice slow fade. So this is the ending video transition, this film dissolve. But I want it to start to fade a little before so that we feel like everything's ramping down at the same time. So let's take a look at that. There we go. And then maybe I might end it just a little quicker so it doesn't hang so long after the video completely goes away. So let's try that. There we go. We have another video in the books. So let's just take a look at this really quickly. All right, so as you can see, it really doesn't take a lot. With editing, less really is more to get a really high quality video. And in fact, sometimes the more you do, it starts to look a little cheesy and amateurish. So always keep it simple. Know why you're doing your transitions, know why you're doing your cuts, and believe me, it'll look a lot smoother and a lot higher end. And quickly, I just wanted to mention, if you notice here, that flash. So Adobe has this glitch sometimes that it may have media pending when you apply a lot of effects and transitions. Literally the way to do this, save the project, exit, go back in if this happens to you when everything's rendered. Everything's green here. We're still having that. That's just a glitch Adobe does have some time. Exit the project, come back in, it will go away. It's happened to me a million times. And that's it. Now you know how to use video and audio transitions in Premiere. In Volume 7, I'll show you how to apply video effects to your edit. For more Premiere Pro tutorials, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and make sure to ring the notification bell. And as soon as the next volume is uploaded, you'll find the link in the description.